Namaste, Namaskaram, Vanakkam, Namo Namaha, Jai Ganesha. Please visit our website at classicalyoga.org and stand up for the Hindu Yoga Dharma. The magic number 3. Monotheism can be rather crude indeed, rather monistic. Polymorphism, dharmanupati dharmi. 0 to many is closer to reality, hence the Sanskrit Hindu word Brahman for the Big Bang, you see. Brahman comes from the Sanskrit root bri, which means to expand. When Hindus use the word Brahman, they're simply referring to the expansion of the universe. This concurs with the Big Bang. From 0 to many, from the nothingness to the manyness. And we all just did it this morning when we woke from the nothingness of sleep into the simultaneous reactions of waking up. From the 0 to the many. If you hold your hand with 3 fingers sticking up and the thumb and the forefinger touching together, making a 0, this is also the OK sign in the Western world. These are mudras to Hindus. They're Hindu sign language. We're making the mudra vitarka, which means reason, to think things out, use one's logic. 0 to many. From the nothingness, which must be something, but it is just so subtle, like the black hole, comes the manyness of creation. It's a natural tendency for us as humans to seek to find the one thing behind everything, but to date, no one's ever found a one deity, a one thing that is responsible for everything. It just doesn't exist. If we look at the atomic age, when scientists finally discovered the atom, which actually means indivisible, they thought they'd found the one particle. However, we all know what happened when they split the atom. Kaboom! A whole other world emerged. The very fact that there are 3 monotheistic religions should show the absurdity of claiming to have found the one deity, the one God. No, we live in a triune world. This is duality, triality, quadrupality, the multiplicity that is life itself. Roman numerals, and interestingly, that's the seat of the power of authority of the Catholic Church. They only existed for so long, very limited. And it was not the Arabs, it was actually the Hindus who created the magical 0. And it is with 0 and 1 that life computes. So in fundamentalism, you have the absurd search for the one. And interestingly, the youngest of the world's religions, Islam, actually looks at Christianity as being polytheistic. So the one extreme is fundamentalism, and the other extreme, however, is the fundamentalist universalist. We find this today in the so-called New Age yoga, where they also use the ridiculous cliche, we are all one, which is bad math. We all one? Doesn't work. Life is division, duality. It starts with the cells in you and me. It's in the orange and grapefruit segments too, and in the separate organs within you. Recognizing life's duality is unity in diversity. Unity in sameness can be fundamentalist universalist blindness. Christians should actually take an example from their Trinity, which is a multiplicity. Even in the world of cuisines, the talk about the famous Holy Trinity, the mirepoix, onions, carrots, and celery. So we live in a world of duplicity, duality, triality, a three-dimensional world, height, width, and depth. And our notion of time, past and present and future, and latent energy and kinetic energy and the phenomena itself. If we look at our very existence in this cosmos, it's a result of the Earth and the Moon and the Sun. The three in just the correct distance from each other to create life as we know it. The end of the podcast, we'll see an amazing example, an analogy of the sun and the moon and the earth. However, if we look at our own being, we could separate it out into three bodies: physical body, mental and emotional body, and then the soul body. Now, in the Hindu yoga dharma, we celebrate the multiplicity that is life. A cursory look at the Hindu yoga dharma and the lifestyle and the culture shows the multiplicity in the art, in the music, in the dance, in the multiple deities. Monotheists often make fun of Hindus saying, oh, they believe in 33 million gods. Of course, we don't use the word God, but we would say 33 million and one. There's always one more. This is the multiplicity of life. There are people who spend their whole life studying insects, studying plants, and there's always new discoveries on the horizon. This is the beautiful creativity that is life itself. So in the Hindu yoga dharma, we recognize and appreciate this triality of life. Our very sacred primal mantra, Om, though there's a four-part nature to it, it is basically three manifest sounds: Ah, U, which represents our animal, human, and divine nature. This is the multiplicity, the triality. Of course, we also recognize the absolute no-thingness, turiya, from which comes this triality. If you look at Hindu yoga dharma, you can basically boil it down to three sampradayas or sects: the Saivas, the Vaishnavas, and the Shaktites, worshipping of Shiva, Vishnu, and the mothers. In the GEM principle, and we did a podcast on this, we recognize the dynamic physics of life: gravity, electricity, and magnetism, the three. And we incorporate this into the three sampradayas of Hinduism: Ganesha, Muruga, Shiva, Shakti. Saivism, Ganesh, Krishna, Vishnu, Lakshmi, Vaishnavism, and also Ganesh, Hanuman, Sitaram. And then the three matas, Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati. And then in another succession, Kali, Durga, Parvati. Sacred number three. We do many things three times. In our sacred worship, the puja, we take the arti three times. We do pradakshina, turn around or walk around the deity or the mandapam, the deity within the Hindu mandir. We may walk around the Hindu mandir. Pradakshina. We do many of our mantras, our chants three times: Om, 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 Jyoti, 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 Shakti, 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We always end our prayers with Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. There's a great peace that emanates from this scientific knowledge of the zero to the many, the triality. It isn't creating a one deity that we have seen the tremendous violence throughout history. For from our beliefs come our attitudes and come our actions. The three of the Ba syndrome: belief, attitude, and action. As Hindus, we recognize that we are the Atmana, the soul, if you will, of Sat, Chit, Ananda. This love and light and energy, the three. The mark of the Hindu is the bindu, the bindi, the third eye point. So we see with three eyes, the two material eyes and the third inner spiritual eye. Shiva is often known as Trilochana, Trinada, Trinetra, the three-eyed one. Triambakam yajamhe sukandim pushti vardhanam urva rukameva bandhanat mrutyo mukshiya mamratat. We worship the three-eyed Shiva of excellent fragrance, the increaser of welfare. And just like the cucumber, when it's ripe, naturally falls from the vine, we too, when we're ripe, when we realize the Atmana, we fall from the delusions of this one material existence. In the Hindu yoga dharma, we recognize at least three worlds of existence. As devout Hindus daily chant the Gayatri mantra, Om Bhurvubhuva Svaha Tat Savitruvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat. O divine beings of all three worlds, let us contemplate the resplendent form of creation, which, like the radiant sun, has the power to burn away all ignorance. May it grant us its grace and guide our intellects. As Hindus, our main goal is to realize that we are the Atmana, Tattvamasi, that thou art. And we do this by living the Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific lifestyle. And though we have our classic four yogas, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, Gyan Yoga or Jnana Yoga, in Tamil land, Chariye Kariye Yoga Jnanam. In the Vedas, the rishis expounded a beautiful threefold system using the word kanda, which means root, which is analogous to yoga, to yoke, or dri, to hold. What holds us together is karma, kanda. This is the Hindu understanding of the law of cause and effect that either advances or retards our soul realization, karma kanda. And upasana kanda, jnana kanda. So we already know karma yoga, karma kanda, and jnana kanda, the enlightened state. But the beautiful word upasana in Sanskrit is extremely profound. If we translate upasana into English, it means worshipful meditation. So in this beautiful Sanskrit Hindu word upasana, we find actually the three yogas that are supposed to be inseparable: Bhakti Yoga, Hatha Yoga, and Raja Yoga. Upasana, worshipful, bhakti, meditation, raja, and the word asana is in the word, upasana, Hatha Yoga. If you think about it, when one does Bhakti Yoga, they maintain a certain attitude and certainly a physical posture, and it's simultaneously a meditation or contemplation. When one does a certain physical posture, which is true Hatha Yoga, it is a devotional posture. Hindu devotional postures and a meditative attitude. When one does meditation, contemplation, Raja Yoga, they're naturally assuming a physical posture, and it is a devotional process. So the rishis got it right. Karmakanda, Upasanakanda, Hyanakanda. And especially concerning Upasana, the inseparability of three classic Hindu yogas, Bhakti Yoga, Hatha Yoga, and Raja Yoga. And concerning Hatha Yoga, remember that the Saiva Hindu Guru Patanjali made absolutely no mention of any specific asana. However, he did give us a simple remedy in his complex Yoga Sutras, which are actually deep metaphysical surgery, taking the Hindu brahmachari deep into the Atmana. He gave us three simple things: Maitri, Karuna, Mudita. Be friendly, be compassionate, be happy. In that order. In other words, if one is friendly, they exercise compassion, they will be happy. Just think of the opposite. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita. And as Saiva Hindus, we daily wear the vibhuti, which is actually the third pada of the Yoga Sutras, the holy ash of the Saivas. Also means religious powers that come from doing your sadhana, your tapas. We put on this beautiful vibhuti made from the cow dung, this beautiful ash representing burning up not only anava karma maya, but lobha, krodha, kama, greed, anger, lust. A little reflection shows that those are three areas in life that cause immense problems: greed, anger, lust meaning excessive desire for anything, lobha, krodha, kama. And these are actually countered by dana, dayadvam, damyata. Greed is countered by giving, dana. Anger is conquered by compassion. Lust is conquered by control. Lobha, krodha, kama, dana, dayadvam, damyata. And it's when we have burnt up these three, greed, anger, lust, that it opens up the inner vision, hence the bindi, the third eye point. And note that Saivas put on this holy ash every day. So humbly we admit that every day we may get a little greedy, a little angry, a little lusty. So we strive again. This is what it is to live a religious spiritual lifestyle, and certainly what it is to live the Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific lifestyle. Why is it that many actually doubt the existence of the soul, which we Hindus would call the Atmana? And reflect on these words, because soul and spirit in English refer to that which is incorporeal, which means not the body. Atmana means not the mind. So we recognize that this essence, if you will, is not the body, it's not the mind, it's not the emotions. So therefore, if we seek to find it, though we need to care for those three bodies, but if we seek to find it through the physical, mental, and emotional, we will actually look in vain, because it's not there. Again, it's necessary to prepare the body, mind, and emotions. This is the classic yogas of Hinduism. But it's beyond those three, and this is the very problem that we seek to go beyond. After we've actually had enough life experience to, in a sense, force this introspection. Let's go back to the beginning, where we recognize the very triality that is responsible for our present existence. We are here on Earth. We have the moon and the sun, perfect conditions for life as we know it. We've yet to find other life out there in the cosmos. Now, in the Hindu yoga dharma, the moon is often analogous to the mind. And notice that the moon, though it certainly looks like it has light, it has no light of its own. It is merely reflecting the light of the sun. In the Latin languages, el sol, S-O-L, S-O-U-L. So using this analogy, we have been to the moon. Imagine the tremendous intellect, the physical accomplishment, and even the emotional one that allowed human beings to actually go to the moon. Tremendous accomplishment, tremendous intellectual achievement. However, none of us will ever go to the sun for obvious reasons. We cease to exist. So if we use the analogy of the moon as the mind, we are here on earth, physical. The sun, el sol, the soul. To truly have a deep, soulful experience, we have to disappear. We have to transcend the body, mind, emotion complex. Very difficult to do mentally when we think we have achieved such heights of intellect. And this is where a religious lifestyle comes in, and the Hindu yoga religious, spiritual, scientific lifestyle. We purify the body, mind, and emotions in order to ultimately transcend it. A little reflection on some of the past individuals who we look at as great prophets, who often never wrote anything down. These were humble people who spent a lot of time alone, went off in the forests, the deserts. Even today, we still have yogis and yoginis who just disappear from material society. They understand the process here. They're trying to transcend the body, the mind, and the emotions. In other words, to, as an ego, as an individual, to disappear, at least temporarily, in order to have the full experience of the soul, the Atmana. It is truly a shame that this deep inner process of realizing our Atmana through living the Hindu, yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific lifestyle has been totally distorted into an outer exercise, completely divorced from its internal roots. However, if we look simply at the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the goal is Kaivalya, liberation. The freedom from the delusion of the outer worlds, Purushartha Sunyam, the wealth of the soul, and the no-thingness of the soul. This is what we mean by moksha, freedom. Freedom from the delusion that we are simply a body, mind, and emotions. Enjoying, living life, respecting the duality and the triality, but ultimately merging into the no-thingness, the zero experience, which again we do on a daily basis every time we go into deep sleep. Try to spend a few moments in your waking hours when you go into the no-thingness and be refreshed again, and then come out and respect and enjoy the duality and the triality of life. Jai Ganesha, Jai Hindu Yoga Dharma. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.